Hello everyone and welcome! Got my cousin Rich with me again. It's been over 2 months since we reviewed a movie together. I think it was Ant-Man.
Yeah.
And now, how you doing now?
Doing great, man.
Awesome. So now we are going to talk about a film that we saw tonight. It's one that I was really excited about for multiple reasons, but a little worried too. We saw
an amazing movie is what we saw.
Well, can we tell them what we saw? Because the movie wasn't called Amazing Movie.
It was called The Intern, and I have to say...
can we explain at least what it's about first before you give out your stuff?
Okay.
For you... Never mind. Anyways, okay.
I loved it.
Okay.
I loved it.
So, yes, The Intern is the latest film directed by Nancy Meyers, who worked on films like Father of the Bride, and she worked, I believe, on The Parent Trap, and then she became a director herself, made films like Something's Gotta Give, It's Complicated, and The Holiday.
So the concept of the movie was basically kind of a reverse role of what we usually see come out of Hollywood, because we've seen things like The Devil Wears Prada and some of these other movies where they have these interns that work for them. This one, I think, was really amazing. It kind of reversed the role of the age and the gender as well. I mean, in a lot of senses, when you look at like who you normally look as an intern, you have, like, for instance, I go back to The Devil's Wear Prada. Obviously, it's a woman leading the company, but then it's a woman intern. In this one, it was a woman leading the company and an older guy, you know, as the intern. So it really had a lot of different facets that I think are actually emerging in today's society, and they bring these points up really well. And
who are these people that are in the film, though?
Anne Hathaway, and I have to say, best movie she's done in a long time. I mean, she was great. And then obviously the master himself, Mr. Robert De Niro. I love you to death, brother. You're a great actor, man. And this, by far, was your best movie in years, Mr. De Niro, because you're always good, but you definitely made me tear up in this movie, and I think Chad teared up a little bit too. You did a great job.
You already told me how he felt. Okay, so review's over. We're done. How you doing? Okay, bye. Okay, so I was a little worried about this movie. The trailers to the film really looked sweet and endearing, and it looks like they were going in a different route, especially for this director, because Nancy Meyers is kind of known, at least from what I've seen. I never saw The Holiday, but Something Gotta Give, and It's Complicated. It's always like old people falling in love with young people, or young people falling in love with old people, or old people falling with old people, or young people, whatever. Everybody's having to fall in love somehow or somewhere. And I've never really been impressed with her career when it comes to director. I did not like It's Complicated. It felt really phony, and the same thing can be said about Something's Gotta Give. So I was a little worried going to see this movie. I was hoping that she wouldn't take the typical Hollywood route with these kind of films, and it would be a Hollywood movie, but something more important than that, and handle the subject matter more honestly, and get us to really care about the people that are involved. And forget that we see Rob De Niro on screen, and Anne Hathaway, Rene Russo, who's also in the movie.
Great. She was wonderful.
Two of the Workaholic guys are in the film. I know I'm missing somebody, but it's a big cast of, there's movie stars, and then there's TV stars, and then just actors as well. And I apologize if I'm missing somebody right now. But so I was really excited to see this movie. I was hoping that it would, the trailer would do, it felt like it was going to give you an idea of what this movie was about. Because I always felt like, as I was seeing the trailer, I felt like, oh, this movie could really work. And it can remind us why we love Hollywood so much and how they handle reality. There's no special effects in this movie. There's no superheroes. For this day and age where we get all these kinds of movies, and I love them all. But I like to also go see a movie just about people living their lives. And sometimes Hollywood handles it in a way that feels manipulative. It handles in a way where everything feels cheesy and sappy. But from the moment this movie gets started, we get to meet Robert De Niro. He's lost his wife, he's retired, and he has this opportunity to be an intern for this very important or established fashion website run by Anne Hathaway. And everything just came off, for me, as we were setting all this stuff up, it came off feeling so real. I really sympathized with everything that was going on, and we also get to know other characters. We realize Anne Hathaway as a daughter, one of the best child actors I've ever seen, so cute, so adorable. And then she has a husband who's one of the workaholic guys, and I've never seen this actor actually give off an honest, endearing performance before, to my surprise. Usually you see this guy in the comedy role, and the other workaholic guy is in the film with Adam Devine from Pitch Perfect, and he plays one of the worker guys, and you really get to know a lot of the people. Not everyone gets fleshed out, but I would say 75% of the cast really gets some sort of arc. Rene Russo gets a nice little arc, not too much. It's definitely the Robert De Niro and Anne Hathaway show, but I felt like that guy who plays her husband, the workaholic guy, got a nice arc.
Yeah.
And how they handle what happens with them, I don't want to spoil in this review. Just felt like it was handled realistically, especially for a Hollywood movie. And before I let you talk, I just want to say that I miss movies like this. This movie reminds me of something that maybe was made in the 80s or the 90s, where it was a Hollywood movie and it has all those Hollywood tropes, but you love the characters and you believe in them so much that you believe anything that comes out of their mouth. You believe every word. You believe that Rob De Niro is in the situation he is. His characters and Hathaway, they made the company feel believable. This movie just made me feel believable inside. I mean, every aspect of this movie just warmed my heart, warmed my soul, and surprised the hell out of me. I think Nancy Meyers has attempted to make movies, and now she has fully succeeded as a director and a writer. The writing is great, the relationships are great, the setting is wonderful, and I like all the human connections that people have with the locations, and then the relationships that people have. Everyone just felt so perfectly placed. This is perfection in my eyes when it comes to Hollywood filmmaking. The relationships, the friendships. This movie is not about someone falling in love with somebody else. There's an aspect of that. It's very important. But this is really about a friendship that is born between an older man and a younger woman, where nothing but love is incorporated into the film. And you really believe that these two people have this special daddy-daughter relationship, even though they're not daddy and daughter. It's just such a magical, wonderful film. I know I've gone on for a little bit. I want to, you've already said that you love the film as well, but I want you to explain why. But I think this is one of the best films I've seen all year. Great reminder of why we like Anne Hathaway, of why we love Robert De Niro. He hasn't been this good in a long time, probably since Silver Lining Playbook from 2012. And just a great reminder of that this actor, he can play a gangster really well, he can play these vicious characters really well, but he can also just be a human being.
Yeah.
Great reminder of that, and I know I can go on and on and on. Maybe I'll get into a little bit more, but Rick, take it away. What did you feel?
No, I think you said a lot of great things, and they were definitely true. For me, what really touched me a lot was the fact that we go to the movies to watch movies like what you're going to see when you see this movie, and this is the type of movie where you walk away and you just go, "Guy," it hits on every level as far as we all dream about, obviously, different aspects of the movies, and in this movie what I think you find is that, like what Chad explained, that intern relationship between the CEO and the intern, and how truly a really amazing internship would be someone where they came in and were able to create that type of value to a CEO, where it turns the tables, where suddenly the CEO is valuing the interns' take on everything, to a point where they become not just like an intern, but now they're like an advisor and a trusted confidant. And the whole aspect of how he gets into that position is really great. I mean, there's a scene, you know, where it's like a comic relief at one point with a heist, which was pretty fun.
That was kind of cool. I didn't want to spoil how it happens, but
yeah,
you know, you get in this really nice story about these people kind of coming together, and suddenly the movie becomes a heist film.
Yeah, I love it.
And it's kind of a nice change of pace.
It was.
And the way that was handled too was like, it was, you know, set up for laughs.
Yep.
And it gets to care about the characters even more and have a little bit of fun, you know, and not say we're not taking ourselves too seriously with the subject matter.
Yeah.
But I'm glad they kind of did take themselves a little seriously because the characters felt so raw and so believable that you forget you're watching a movie. I mean, there was a moment I forgot that I was watching a film with these actors that we know.
I was just
these Oscar winners,
completely.
these Oscar winners,
like,
you know?
Yeah, like you're at the point where you're not like noticing that you're in the theater anymore. You're so into the screen that it's almost like you're in the screen, not like just observing it to a point where it's so believable and so fun that the time goes by. And when you finally the credits come up at the end, you're like just sad because you're so like when a movie, like when you start tearing up at the end of a movie just with the credits coming up because you've had such a fun time for that last hour and a half or 2 hours. I mean, that's a movie in my book. Like this movie, in my personal opinion, deserves Oscar noteworthy, but I know that it's not going to get it. But
maybe Robert De Niro and Anne Hathaway. I mean, great performances.
Totally, that's what I mean. It's like they were so good at, even though it's what you probably would consider some type of like date chick flick movie. In some retrospects, people would initially write it off as that because of the commercials, like the advertisement for it. But really what the movie was about was just a really good friendship and how it develops. And just the whole environment and atmosphere around that developing of that really good relationship.
And how we can learn from each other, men, women, old, new, you know, depending on how old we are, young we are, we can all kind of learn from each other and our life experiences and find a way to get along. I mean, this movie could have been a total train wreck. It could have handled so mismanaged, and it could have been a complete joke.
Well, go into depth a little bit about it.
I'm not going to, but I really don't want to, because I don't want to be more than 15 minutes with this review. I'm going to wrap it up. But I just say, when it handles some really sad subject matter, I felt like it handled, in the best possible way, a Hollywood movie could handle it, and make it still feel real and genuine.
Yeah.
Again, a big shout out to the guy who plays her husband, who's one of the workaholics. I've never seen this guy really act before. He's been a comedic actor and been kind of the comic foil. But in this film, I really sympathized just a little bit with what he was doing. I'm like, you're ruining this. You're not ruining the movie, but you're ruining maybe a relationship that is important here. So I know I could go on into. I don't want this review to be more than 15 minutes. So just wrap it up really quick, and if you can, in 30 seconds, and give a final rating.
I definitely, without a doubt, my favorite movie of 2015 so far. There's obviously a few other movies coming out, like Star Wars, which I can't wait for. So it's probably going to be up. It's going to be upended eventually. But I definitely say, as far as like, this is a movie that I could honestly say I'd probably be totally willing to go back and see multiple times at the theaters, and that's just because I love where it took me. I loved the story, and I loved the 2 hours of my life that was consumed in this make-believe fantasy land that I think they just hit it out of the park as far as like what it was. For what it was, it really couldn't have been too much better. And I mean that like sincerely. This was an authentic, genuine movie as far as like the way that you would hope that everybody could experience in their life as far as like on a real level. And it was a beautiful movie, and I give it 4 fingers and the thumb. And that's what I give it, because it was perfect in my book.
I think my final thoughts are probably going to repeat myself, so I'm just going to keep it sweet, short, and to the point. This is one of the best films of 2015. One of the best chick flicks, if you want to call it, I've ever seen, even though you know, it's really about friendship and relationships and marriage and stuff like that. But it just left me feeling so great inside. So warm and fuzzy, not manipulative or sappy. I felt everything came off real, genuine, and entertaining as hell. It's so funny. It was so funny too.
I think one thing that we got to look at now from a perspective of once you see this movie, and even the way we talk about this, calling it a chick flick. I mean, really what this movie is going to reach out to you is the whole, like, reversal of just, like, society nowadays. And how guys are in some senses taking back steps so that the woman can have the super amazing career. And how, you know, we have to kind of look at it from a perspective, you know, one of the things that you'll hear Robert De Niro say in the movie is like, well, you know, I'll take it from the feminist point of view. And I look at it now and I go, well, you know, with the reversal of a lot of the things going on in society nowadays, it's kind of like for guys to be able to be in touch with their emotions and say, hey, dude, this was a beautiful movie. I mean, you know, it's not what I want to call anymore a chick flick. It's a heartfelt flick. And I think that as guys, as more movies like this come out, it allows us to kind of just, like, take the barrier down and go, you know what, I can be emotional with this movie and appreciate it for what it was. And so, in my opinion, this was a great, heartfelt movie that either a couple bros like me and my cousin could go watch and get teary-eyed with, or a couple chicks go and watch it the way that you women love to go get teary-eyed too. So that's what I say.
This movie's a diamond in the rough. It's something very rare, especially coming from Hollywood. We always get movies like this, and you know, they'll work maybe 70% of the time, and the rest of it is just all cheese, Hollywood cheese.
Yeah.
But this is a rare entity, and I commend the filmmakers and the cast and crew for coming up with something so sweet and honest and true. So that I'm going to give the film, of course, I'm going to give it a solid 4 stars out of 4. Comment box below. Have you seen The Intern? What did you think? Did you love it? Did you enjoy it at least? I hope people at least like the film.
Yeah.
I would not want to. I would not understand anybody not enjoying this film. Definitely. I wouldn't get it at all. But you know, everybody has their opinion. We've shared ours. You share yours. All right, everyone. Cousin Rich, MovieManCHAD. We gotta go because we gotta start a new week, man. The weekend's over, and it's all time to start a week, and I'm just rambling. So
I can't wait.
Bye, everyone.
Till next time.
Thank you so much for watching. Please like, comment, and share this video. And also, please check out these amazing movie websites. And if you enjoyed this review, please click here to subscribe to my channel, and also please check out all my recent reviews right here on YouTube. Have a great day, live film, find peace, happiness, and harmony in anything and everything you do, and I'll talk to you at my next movie review.